and Ludacris then dropped two. I'm not gonna say sneak diss tracks, but he just kind of nobody knew they were coming. He was like, boom, and people was like, oh snap, did you hear? I was like, oh, didn't even know it was out there. Like he did it like a Beyonce, just dropped it overnight.
He did,
you know. And he was like, oh, pause. And then what did 6ix9ine do? I'm just gonna go just show videos of
What 6ix9ine is doing is marketing.
Right. Oh, he's killing it.
He is marketing. He's trying to get his name out there because he knows he's trash. So he does. He does. He knows he's trash. Welcome back to the kitchen. You are here with Team M.A.D Wrestling in the building with your man Twitch for Life, MrBroadcast, and author Yves. We're here talking about some issues that are a little deep, a little heartfelt, and some that are flat out nonsense.
But we have to just do it.
We gotta just do it. So just because this week I have been on social media trying to educate people and in the midst, yes, I know.
That was your first mistake.
I know. I tried to educate people through social media, and certain people wanted to listen, and other people, of course, they stick to their role in the big theater of things. That I think a global point needs to be made for race issues. Right? When we talk about black or white, regardless of how you feel about the social impacts of being or identifying as black or white, I don't think that the greater population of black people believe all white people are racist. I don't believe that white people can't understand the problems that we face or the oppression that we feel sometimes, right? However, I do believe there is a shared social experience that no white person will ever truly capture all the nuances of, right? And I think sometimes when we generalize and don't speak specifically, it causes someone else to be caught in their emotions and be offended, right? And think that we're capturing all white people in a statement directed towards a select few that don't want to see progress, right? Don't want to see change, and also don't want to recognize there's an issue. I actually had a guy tell me online that he doesn't believe the things that he's seen on video are police brutality. He's like, I don't believe that's police brutality. I believe that's people doing their jobs. And it's like, well, my first response was he doesn't understand the definition of brutality, right? Which I still stand by that. But then, you step back and you think about it, and it's like, what has he experienced in his life, or what has other people shown him that make him say that the beating and inevitable shooting of an unarmed individual by a person in uniform who is sworn to protect and serve the community isn't brutality, right? Because I think what we do is we take people in office, we take people in uniform, and then what's happened in the last decade, and maybe it's because of social media, and maybe it's always been there and we just never seen it, but the responsibility of decency is completely gone. You know what I mean? You look at President Trump, right? Let's not talk about policies. Let's talk about the man, which makes the leader, right? His character makes him a leader, or makes him the type of leader that he's going to be. And he has no decency, right? There's not a shred of decency, and then because there's no decency there, the dignity of the office he holds it's gone at the moment, right? And the same thing happens when you hear people comment about, police in uniform. It's like, wait a minute, I believe that they have a larger responsibility to decency when you have a uniform on to protect and serve the community, right? Because you're viewed as a leader, children look up to you, right? And the people in your community look to you for protection. They look to you to, uphold the law. And yes, sometimes it gets messy. And sometimes you have to make hard decisions, right? But what we see is people who are prejudiced and even racist in those positions don't get called out by the people around them. They don't get called out by their brothers in uniform, right? And I'm not looking to change the mind of a racist. I'm looking to ignite the passion in passive people, right? Because the person who doesn't believe that there is a problem is the person that has the power to change the situation. Because both sides will be where they are, right? The people who want to do injustice and the people who want justice, they've already made their choices.
Right.
The tables will not turn, the seesaw will not flip, it'll stay where it's at, right? But the people that are in the middle have the power to tip the balance. And those are the people that I want to get to pick a side, so to speak, right? Stand with or clearly stand against, because your voice is the one that matters in here. They know what everybody else's voice is, right? But in order to move those numbers, move those percentages, make stuff happen, it's those people that the responsibility falls to at this point.
I don't disagree. I think I'd just like, I'd like the question not to be such a one or the other thing, not such a black or white, not such a two group thing, only because when I've had conversations with people, similar people who don't see what's going on as police brutality, they legitimately don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
They don't understand what's going on. They're seeing the same thing we are. They're just not hearing. There isn't a conversation. It's kind of that idea of you're either for this idea or against this idea. There isn't like a bit in the middle where it's like, for example, like, do you think that the majority of the aggressors in these police brutality situations are racist or prejudiced, or do you think they are just scared? They're scared people who have been. There's this kind of that. I mean, we kind of talked about it a couple weeks ago. That political truth, that truth that becomes truth because it's been repeated so many times.
Mm-hmm.
That idea that, like, if you pull over a black man, he's going to shoot you.
Mm-hmm.
That's been repeated so much that's literally ingrained in some, I would say, a good number of the authorities' minds, and so they're reacting and they're just scared for their own lives in those situations.
But on the other side of that coin, you're talking about things that are ingrained. When you see those flashing lights behind you, and not you, but the proverbial you, then you wonder, is this the day?
Mm-hmm. And see, I didn't understand. We had that conversation when we were in the car.
Yeah.
And yeah, you had to explain to me that feeling. It's because I've never felt that feeling.
Right.
I've never had that thought. And so that's, I think, instead of picking a side, having that conversation, saying, this is how I feel, and this is, but not in a, this is how I feel and you have to understand. More in a, this is how I feel and I want to understand how you feel, because what you're feeling is right and what I'm feeling is right. But there's a place in the middle where both of those feelings can overlap and make sense to everybody.
Absolutely. But picking a side, the like I said, for lack of better terms, is there because either you see it as an issue or you don't after you understand or after you've had the conversation, after that verbal exchange has happened. You know what I mean? If you don't see it as a problem, okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you do see it as a problem, okay, right? But the voices on either side will tip the balance and make a change in the community. You see what I mean? Like, it's not just running up to somebody, hey, pick a side. It's, hey, do you respect me enough to listen to my opinion on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after I tell you my opinion, has your belief changed? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is this an issue important to you now? You see what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's those questions. And then at the end of those questions, there's a...
But I guess that's what I'm saying is at that point, do they have to pick a side, or is that at that point, can they then have a conversation with somebody else? Say you didn't connect to them the way, but say then their child has a multiracial relationship, and that's where the change happens.
That's the what's the word I'm looking for? That's the words are losing me at this point. But the stressor. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the stressor. No, it's not just my conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's multiple conversations to understand. You know what I mean? But you have to be willing to understand. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. You know, at the end of a conversation, I've never gone and been like, are you with me or against me? You know what I mean? Like, that's never been the conversation. But looking at it as a top-down view, you've got people on one side, people on another side, and people in the middle, right? And you're looking to move those people in the middle out of the middle, because the people in the middle don't really have a say in the change yet, and you want them to have a say in the change, right? It's kind of like, I don't really care what side you choose. I mean, I care, but like, I'm not going to look at you differently for choosing whatever side you choose, right? Or having whatever opinion you have, right? My goal is to respect the person standing next to you enough to have the conversation, right? Mm-hmm. Listen to what they think, and then them having the respect for you to listen to what you think, and having an intelligent exchange of ideas like scholars, and not like, the trolls that we either encounter or become on social media.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And and it's not just one exchange, it's multiples. It happens. It's over and over and over and over and over until, like I said, you ignite that passion within someone to go, you know what? I may not believe in this issue, but I believe in you. Right. And then it could be on the other side, I may not believe in this issue, but I'm going to stand with this person over here because I love them enough to go, yeah, you know what? I'm going to stand with you. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Of course, I'm biased. I would like, more people to understand, what we feel. But if you don't, you don't.
Right. Well, I mean, we're dealing with that situation right now with out in Dallas with Amber Guyton, the female police officer who mistakenly went into somebody else's apartment and believed it was hers and shot the guy dead cold right there. And initially they were supposed to issue the Dallas police department issued a warrant for her arrest. They passed it over to the Texas Rangers, and the Texas Rangers like, oh, we dismissed the warrant. For like 4 or 5 days, and then now they just came back to reissue the warrant. She's in custody now, but it was that whole 4 or 5 days where people's like, what's really going on? How you tell me you walk up to an apartment door, your key doesn't work, and then the person opens the door and you shoot them because you think it's and it's simple logical questions of what modern day thief is going to just walk up and open the door and let you in.
Right.
Right. And If your key doesn't work at that door, shouldn't you look at the door you're looking at to make sure it's your door?
Right. There's a whole bunch of
Right.
factors that happen
Before you even get into race. And I think that's where people now, like, I think this scenario is allowing people to step back and be a little bit more logical, and not that race isn't a factor, because it was a white woman who shot a black guy. White police officer just got off duty, 2 blocks from her precinct. Yeah. But it adds a whole nother level of factors before it even gets to the police brutality scenario of the, she just shot him, because now it's not just I ran up on a guy just in the hallway in a hoodie. Oh, I ran up on a guy who was shooting at me, pointing a gun at me. Mm-hmm. You went into this guy's home. And so that opens up a whole nother level of what you just talked about, logical discussions that you have to have, that are not like I said, well, what's the background on this kid? Like, using any other scenario where somebody's in a hoodie and walking down the street, well, you can't just say, because that's not even a factor now. The guy was in his own home. So you now have to, there's certain levels of things you can't just place on a scenario to make it more negative than it is. That you have to logically talk. You have to respectfully say, what's the real story? Things can't just be covered up now or just pushed to the side because of a basic stigma or perception.
Right.
Like you say, it gets back to the stressors of the catalyst to open up intelligent conversations. And yes, we still gonna get those trolls.
Yeah, for sure. But
the people trying to have that conversation have more room to have that conversation.
And and don't get me wrong, like, somebody catches me on the wrong day and I am the troll. Right? It is, it is what it is. And, there's gonna be somebody watching this video that's been a victim of the troll hood, and we all get there. But I think sometimes we do have to, step back and really, even when someone else is trying to be the troll, try to have the conversation. I think the other thing that needs to happen too is, especially when we're on social media talking to people, and you give someone a hint, or they give you a hint, like, you know what, I don't have time to have this conversation right now. That's not someone backing out of having the conversation. They may generally not have time to have the conversation. Or if someone says, you know what, I can't do this over social media, you may not be able to do this over social media.
I would venture that most of those conversations should not belong on social media.
Yeah. However, I would also venture to say that 100% of those conversations belong here at this table.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've done my best to invite people with different opinions here. Had a couple takers. Scheduling has not permitted them to be here, because things get mixed up and these schedules don't work. However, I'll name some names: Kyle, James. Like, you're always welcome to come to the show and have the conversation. Always, 100% of the time. And we'll have the conversation. And we'll talk about the sides. We'll talk about where you see it and where I see it. But we have to respect the fact that I will have a different social experience from you.
Yeah.
I'll have a different social experience from Lance.
Yeah.
Right? I'll also have a different social experience from Art. But then there will be certain experiences that we share as well.
Yeah.
And driving back home to the recent events with Nike and their campaign, their ad. The ad was amazing. I love everything that ad stands for, and I understand why they used Colin Kaepernick for that ad, because people can say everything they want about Colin Kaepernick and kneeling during the national anthem, but not only did he risk everything for a cause that he believed in, after he lost everything, he still gave more funds, more money, more time to those things that he believed in while nobody was looking. Mm-hmm. Right? While everybody, all they wanted to do was talk and ridicule, he was writing checks. He was donating time. He was in New York handing out suits to people that had just gotten out of, I think they were just gotten out of prison, or young men on the street. Like, he was handing out suits. He lost his job with the NFL, and he's out there with a charity, donating his time. Not out there looking for a job, saying, you know what, this is my calling. I'm supposed to help people on the streets, and is doing that, right?
He was also looking for his job back, though.
I mean, of course.
Also, but yes, yeah. No,
But in those
not
moments,
taking away anything that he's done. Yeah, no, he's an incredible person.
Because it's not very often we see someone take a stand and then stand behind that stance, which is why I believe Nike chose him to be the face of that ad, because that's a cause he truly believes in, whether you agree with it or not.
And to all the Nike burners out there, just so you know, from Sunday to Tuesday, Nike did a 31% increase in branding sales over the 3-day Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
Nike wasn't going to lose anything from this.
No.
Like, traditionally, any company that makes a social political stand kind of sees a Nike swoosh in their growth and their business and their stocks and all that.
Except for Pepsi with that Kylie Jenner. Let's give a Pepsi to stop riots.
They dropped really fast, like within that week, but then they've made it back up and more.
Yeah, but I'm saying it was a little different though. They dropped hard this week. Where Nike went up is what I'm saying.
Well, Nike dropped initially.
Nike dropped. That's what all of these companies initially they go.
That's what you mean by the Nike swoosh, because it dropped.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, every company that makes a social political stand will they'll come out winning.
Yeah.
Partially because they're getting eyes on them. It's kind of that idea of like any
publicity is good
publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
But also because people like a company with the balls to
say something,
to make a point.
Yeah.
It's kind of that idea of like the 80% of the population that isn't like doesn't have like a critical place in either side of the conversation. 80% of the population is where Nike's going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I if you understand basic marketing, everything that Nike did made sense. We got to look at the fact that Nike is a clothing company, right? They make clothes. They want you to wear their clothes. They also want you, when you wear their clothes, to feel good about wearing them, right? Whether it's for a stance, whether it's for a look, whether it's for a feel. They want you to feel good about having those clothes on. So to make that social stance that makes a large portion of people feel good. And I think we get media coverage on the negative of things more, but obviously a larger number of people feel that ad was appropriate, right? It's really nice to see. There's another point that I wanted to make. It's kind of a one-liner point, because I've seen a lot of people get mad at Colin Kaepernick or call him like a whiny rich kid, you know what I mean? And it's something it's kind of a double point, but it's something me and my friend was discussing where everybody in the implications of conversation want their hero to look like a hobo, but nobody wants to ask a hobo what they think about a situation, right? So like you call him a whiny rich kid, what does his money have to do with the fact that he's a free thinker and he can have a political stance and he has the right to protest like everyone else, right? Like, people look at this with Nike and, oh, it's all about money. Yes, Yes, it is all about money, but it doesn't take away from the validity of the message, right? Yes, be not mistaken. This is all about money, right? However, the message is still good, you know. But like I said, you know, people don't like their heroes to make money.
Yeah.
You know, people don't like when someone benefits from doing something good. They don't say anything when somebody benefits from doing something bad, right? You know,
Chinchillas for killers.
you know, you can embezzle all the money you want or launder all the money you want for, you know, 20, 30 years.
You leave Martha Stewart out of this.
Right? And everybody wants to be like, oh, but they're a good person. But the moment somebody takes a stand for something good and then happens to get a check, ooh, everybody loses their minds, right? The other point that I'll make is Rosa Parks never set out to be a hero. She simply sat down because her feet hurt and then just decided not to move. You know? Colin Kaepernick wasn't asking for the media attention when he decided to kneel. He knelt. Well, he sat first. Then someone reached out, told him, hey, look, why don't we do this after they had a cup of coffee, right? Then he knelt. And then once he knelt, somebody asked him a question. And I feel like this. I tell people all the time, don't ask me a question you don't want the answer to, right? They asked him a question. He gave him the answer. And then everybody blew up like he wanted all this attention.
Yeah, you don't think he wanted attention, though?
I think he, in his heart of hearts, I believe Colin Kaepernick wanted attention to the problem.
Yes.
Not to
Himself.
him.
No. Yeah. I guess that's what I meant. Like, I think he totally wanted attention, but not like a self-promotional type of...
Not at all.
Promoting the idea or promoting the awareness of
Right.
what he was, what the idea was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always going to be a set of people that tell you, you know, you could have, you know, not to protest like this, or, you know, protests are supposed to be uncomfortable. That's why they're a protest.
Yeah. What the hell is a comfortable protest gonna change? No. That doesn't exist. It doesn't work out that way.
You know what a comfortable protest is? It's an email.
I'm gonna write a letter.
It's taking any kind of social media stand. It's posting a tweet saying your opinion, but then not showing up for a march or not being present when it makes sense, when change can actually happen.
And I would dare to say that 80% of people will not show up when it matters.
I will venture to say that 80% of the people don't even know who Nate Boyer is. I'm going to excuse Art in this moment. But
Why
you
is
don't,
Art get an excuse?
because you just literally talked about who Nate Boyer is, but you didn't even know that's his name.
Oh, you're talking about the
Nate Boyer is the Marine.
Marine.
Oh.
Okay.
Who Kaepernick talked to. And that's but that's the point I'm making. Honestly, that's the point I'm making, America, right there.
Yeah.
That we're talking about how disrespectful he is. People, let alone, don't even realize he knelt because of a Marine that he sat down and talked to, or the fact that if I said the name Nate Boyer, to know that's who the guy is who told him this is a more respectful thing to do.
People know, but people want to grandstand.
Right? No. That's why I say 80%. I'm not saying there's nobody who doesn't know, but 80% of the people who are trolling and i.e. doing this hard, aggressive fight against it don't know that part. Yeah. Because they're trolling and they're jumping in off what they think is the bigger picture thing, because that level of information has been pushed out of their level of comfort of easy accessibility. Right.
I would even say 80% of the people who are supporting Kaepernick.
Don't know.
know any of that. Yeah.
Example.
Right.
Anyway, I mean,
But
I
you
know
get
that.
what I'm saying?
I know the story.
Yeah.
I just didn't know the
but
name.
but you get what
Yeah.
I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah.
It's and so,
Yeah.
you know.
And I know Kaepernick's name. I'm not even a sports fan, so I couldn't tell you what team he played on. Wait, was it the 49ers?
49ers.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyway, maybe I can. So
What make shit is, do you know who Ben Zan is? All right. Do you know who Ben Zan
it
is?
sounds like a bad guy off of Shazam.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and just politically say I feel like he's a bad guy to me. But he's the mayor of Kenner
Oh, okay. Yeah.
who decided to ban Nikes. Was it for all their recreational kids sports and stuff like
Here's
that?
what I say. You know what? You can write all of that stuff down if you want to. That's fine and dandy. If you don't want to support Nike, whatever. As long as you support the kids, I'm cool, right? As long as the kids get athletic gear, I don't care whether it says Adidas, Under Armour, Nike, Reebok. I really
Russell
don't care.
Athletics.
But the moment you stop supporting the kids is the moment I have a problem. I don't really care what your brand preference is. I don't.
No, he's making, again, he's grandstanding. He's trying to make
Yeah.
a point for a political gain. He's
Right.
trying to get something. He's trying to,
He's trying to get
keep his
noticed.
office or get bigger.
Yeah.
He-
Right. This is the first step to another campaign. That's all this is.
Exactly.
So I don't even want to give that time. I don't even give that any type of showtime, whatever. I don't even care if you cut it out. Right. But all that being said, if people spent the same amount of energy protesting, exercising their right to protest against other people's right to protest, right? Because that's what it is. When you go against someone else doing something, that's also a protest. So like you're protesting their protest. So if you spent that energy that you're using to protest someone else's right to protest on the actual issues, we wouldn't need to protest. That protest wouldn't be necessary. So can we stop the arguing? Can we stop the fighting? And can we look at the real issues?
Because we're humans. That's not how humans work.
Can't we all just get along?
Humans don't want to share happiness. If you looking at social media, just looking at what we can,
I want them to believe that they can. Art
where
style.
we can measure things.
No, I want them to believe that they can.
Well, I think knowing the biological response to things allows people to break out of that. Like, again, looking at
it gives them an excuse to continue.
if they're gonna continue, they're gonna continue regardless. They don't need an excuse to continue.
But they'll cling on to it.
They don't
I'm
need an
genetically
excuse.
predisposed to be this way.
Yes, we are genetically predisposed. That's where we choose, if people want to choose to get out of there. Like, again, looking at social media where we can measure numbers. You have 82% of the people on Instagram will only post things that make them look good and happy. They only want to show their best side. 82, the exact same percentage of people on Twitter want to complain about something. They don't want to talk about something that somebody did well. They don't want to raise somebody up. They don't want to congratulate people. 82% of the tweets on Twitter, or of the, so the non-neutral tweets of Twitter are in the negative, complaining about something.
I just had a thought.
What's that?
That's kind of a sidebar, but you're talking about the difference between Instagram and Twitter and the same people posting good stuff versus complaining about something. You ever wondered why if you put them in a room, a photographer and a poet, the photographer will make more money?
Did I ever wonder why? I know why, but
but it's like people want to, like, photographs are used to make people feel good. While words can do the same thing, right? Words are more commonly used to cut people down. Right?
Yeah.
Even in poetry, a lot of, like, spoken word poetry is used to talk about, in a positive way, negativity.
Yeah.
Negativity used to promote a positive thing, right? But pictures, which are said to be worth 1,000 words, most of the time are of things that make you feel good, right? Yeah, you have the the 20% there that's shows you some stuff that you like. You know what? I never needed to see that. Whether it's something completely heinous,
like the end of Black Klansman. Pissed me off.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Actually,
ruined my night.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Where you have that, but it's funny you brought that up with actual numbers on Instagram and Twitter. I just thought that was a cool parallel,
Well, yeah, when people want to think about themselves, they want to think about themselves in the best light possible. And they want to see, or they don't want to see, they want to share a negative view of somebody else to make them feel better.
Yeah. It's uplifting by comparison.
But it's human nature. It's just the way that our brains think. If 100 things are going right in your life, or say if 99 things are going right in your life, that one thing that's not going right in your life is what's taking over 82% of your mental capacity, your mental.
It's the same thing that happens on the job. My dad used to say all the time, 1 oh shit knocks out 10 attaboys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think that's why, just taking your statement and fusing them together, I think one of the...
With a dance or with an earring?
Fusion ring. I think one of the biggest, most common phrases that is the biggest, one of the biggest, I say it's one of the most common phrases, as well as in the top 5 of most common lies when it comes to sayings, is sticks and stones may break our bones, but words never hurt us. Because one of the most easiest and common ways to hurt someone is with words.
It's true.
It's easier for me to defend myself from a stick and stone than it is from words by you, because you can reach me anywhere with words, especially at this time and age when we're talking about Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and things like that. And I don't even mean physically, where it is down to the emotional breakdown of depression level words, but we're already on edge when we get into anything of a very complex conversation. We're already on edge when we get ready to type our opinion. We haven't even thought of it yet, but we're ready for who's going to troll my opinion
Ready
first,
for that hot fire.
Right?
There's been so many things
in.
I have not posted because I'm like, I don't feel like defending this.
Exactly. Like, you've already mentally broken yourself down on what you're going to do, and you haven't even started typing, let alone hit send.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking about what that next person's reply is going to be.
Right. Yes. I also think that's a testament, not a testament really, but a call out to the lack of self confidence and self worth we have collectively as a culture, a Western culture.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. As long as you got 1 million likes, everybody loves you. You caught that? You can see what I'm saying?
Right.
America loves me. I got 1 million likes.
I got 1 million likes.
Hey.
American loves
Superstar.
me. Yeah. YouTube will pay me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And somebody on Instagram jump in the DMs.
I think one of the great American wonder of the world, once said something very, very powerful. Great prophet, Cat Williams.
Yo,
Said,
real quick though, his last special was not great.
It was so bad. It was so terrible.
But he made a very big point. I'm not going to use the exact words, but, paraphrasing, he said, self-esteem is the esteem of yourself. And we have lost that as society. We have lost that. We believe we have it. And to some extent, there is a small part of us that do in confidence level. But at this point now, when it comes to likes and comments and follows and retweets and who's viewing, we have become totally dependent on others.
So that statement about self-esteem is the exact reason why I more commonly use the word prejudice over racist. Because do you know what type of self-confidence you have to be a racist? Do you know what type of belief in yourself you have to be a racist? I mean, I know it's funny to think about, but
No, you're right.
You got to really believe in you and believe in
those people who are with you.
Yes. Yes. You can't have self-doubt and be a racist. Right? Because you gotta believe you better than everybody because you're you.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
We're going to come back to this. It has to be totally off-air conversation about that.
Okay,
Totally off-air.
Yeah.
Because I don't trust art. America, I don't trust art. I trust him, but I don't. Don't trust him with the camera.
And Art just had that look in his eye like,
I trust
he's
him
right,
with
he
the camera.
shouldn't.
That's right. Because it's always on the record. Off the record. There is no off the record.
There's no off the record.
So we're going to black out on this.
Here on the kitchen, there's nothing off the record. We've only had one veto video.
That's right.
One video got vetoed
That's
on the
right.
kitchen.
We straight fading to black on this conversation when we come back to it. Sorry.
You gonna put the microphone disruptor.
Sorry. Went far off topic.
No, that's cool. Because now this gives us an opportunity to talk about some nonsense.
Yeah.
Right?
Fair enough.
Talking about first off, I want to point out, I made a Facebook post earlier, right? And it's in reference to the nonsense surrounding Eminem, right? Because I believe that that people have forgotten what's happened in like the last 10 years, right? So because of that, look, I'm gonna read y'all this Facebook post as soon as I find it. I'm gonna find my Facebook post because I want to read the words I used. Because sometimes you be proud of yourself. You know what I mean? But it was not the most favorite of my Facebook posts because I think I piss some people off. But I'm about to speak some truth. So check this out. For everyone that watched the Joe Budden podcast, let me explain something since y'all want to jump on the MGK train and then the Joe Budden train. Joe Budden isn't better than Royce. He's not better than Joel. He's not better than Lupe. He's not better than Yellow Wolf. He's not better than any rapper on the Team Backpack Cyphers. And he's most certainly not better than Eminem. Joe Budden hasn't even been relevant in the mainstream music scene in 15 years. Sit down, Joe. And as a side note, I like the Joe Budden podcast. I like Angry Joe. I like his whole persona on the podcast. I do. But don't make this mistake. I am not saying Joe Budden is trash. That is not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying he's not better than them like he claimed to be on the podcast. Like, you haven't been better than Eminem for a decade. You've been better than a lot of other rappers. But you haven't been better than Eminem for an entire decade. Like come on. The lies and deceit. The diss track that MGK did was dope. Right? It was cool. It was cute.
That's cute.
It's cute. Right? In comparison to the animal we know him Eminem is.
It was a cuddly bite.
Right.
Here's how I summed it up. Even the Patriots went 16-1. Right?
Oh yeah, blind squirrel finds a nut.
You know what I'm saying? Every dog has their days. At some point in time, somebody's going to come along and walk up, and you're going to get punched in the face a little bit. That don't mean you lost everything, but, shit, even Mayweather got hit.
Yeah.
He never lost, but he did get hit.
Right.
And that's the point. And so people need to look at the magnitude of what this really stands for MGK. Like,
But
when Eminem first released Kamikaze, everybody had something to say about it. And Machine Gun Kelly posted a little video of him popping a bottle of champagne, dancing around underneath it, because he became relevant.
right.
He's only ever had one hit, and now his name is on everybody's lips.
Agreed.
This is marketing for him. He is going to do better from this. I just wish no disrespect to MGK. I've never been a fan, but I've also never really been a fan of Eminem.
Right, fair enough.
But this is marketing on the highest level for both Eminem and MGK.
And that point right there is why if I was in Eminem's camp, I would be like, don't respond. Don't respond.
It's still better for marketing for him.
But he's number one. Eminem doesn't need any level of marketing.
Drake and who is his beef with? Drake had his little beef with
Meek Mill, and now they made up. And then
Was
they
that
went,
who it was?
and then they went and they performed together.
They're on two different. They're also on two different levels.
That's not what I'm talking about.
No. Hold on. What I'm saying is like both of them see raises in their the drama is what's on people's lips, and that's what's gonna sell everything.
No, let me make my full point so you understand where I'm going.
I think I know you're about to go. Right. I'm gonna sit right. I'm gonna do what I do. So it's my turn.
If Eminem truly wants to diss MGK, the biggest diss he can send him is to not respond. Because if he doesn't respond, his 15 minutes of fame will be up and he'll fade away into the distance again. Yeah. If he does respond, he perpetuates MGK's career.
Exactly.
Because MGK needs Eminem, not the other way around.
No. But that's I guess my point was I don't think Eminem wants to get rid of MGK. I don't think that was his point in even bringing up his name. He's not trying to destroy his career. He's trying to.
Oh, this is not about destroying his career.
But you know what I'm saying? Like I don't think he's trying to diss MGK. Like I don't think he's trying to.
Oh,
I get what you're saying.
He most certainly trying to
well, he was dissing him, but he wasn't trying to like.
Right. See, here's the difference between MGK and Eminem. MGK is going at Eminem so he can become relevant.
Right.
Eminem was going at all these new rappers.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like it wasn't like I'm not beefing with just you. I'm telling all you guys about yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the level of difference. And that's the gravity, the magnitude and difference of where they stand in their not only their career, but their impact.
Yeah.
Because like we were discussing earlier, Eminem never has to do anything ever again but check the block and call into Sway on his own radio station.
Yeah, that's it.
He has his own radio station. There is no worrying about my stuff going to spin. I have my own radio station. Like,
Right.
Literally, look it up. It says, we play Eminem music all day.
So, and then Shade 405 is the #1 hip-hop station on radio.
Right.
Like, on radio.
Yeah.
And, like, if you have the #1 hip-hop station on radio playing your stuff, you don't need nobody else.
Yeah. Like,
Well, that's what he still doesn't need. I think my point was that he doesn't need. Right now, he's just playing the marketing game.
Who?
Eminem.
Is he?
Yeah, he's already made hints at a track to go back at MGK.
Rihanna just hit me on a text. Last night I left hickeys on her neck. Wait, you just dissed me? I'm perplexed. Insult me in a line, compliment me on the next. Damn, I'm really sorry you want me to have a heart attack. Was watching 8 Mile on my Naughter track. Realized I forgot to call you back. Here's that autograph for your daughter. I wrote it on a starter cap.
He posted. All right, so this was actually brilliant because
I saw the videos.
you saw the where he's playing Pac-Man.
Did I see that one?
Yeah, it's just a video of it's a live feed of Eminem playing Pac-Man, and that's in relation to MGK has a Pac-Man across his neck, like Pac-Man and like the ghost or whatever on his chest. I mean, it's all assumption right
I
now.
was literally sleep on that. For real.
But I think that's
America.
But that was going to what I was talking about, the Drake and Meek Mill thing. You think they actually had beef? No, they were throwing back diss tracks because that's marketing. That's building a name in people's mouths.
No, sir. I'm positive they had beefs.
Right.
I'm just also positive that their management teams was like, "Hey, yo, settle this. Let's make this money." That's what I'm positive. Right. Because there is an emotional factor in there. It's not all business when you talk about hip hop. A large percentage of it is emotion that a management team turns to business.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
So
I mean, let's just be real, because we step to the side right now. It's like 6ix9ine and Ludacris right now, you know, and Ludacris then dropped two. I'm not gonna say sneak diss tracks, but he just kind of nobody knew they were coming. He was like, boom, and people was like, oh snap, did you hear? I was like, oh, didn't even know it was out there. Like he did it like a Beyonce, just dropped it overnight.
He did,
you know, and he was like, oh, pause. And then what did 6ix9ine do? I'm just gonna go just show videos of, you know,
what 6ix9ine is doing is marketing.
Right. Oh, he's killing it.
He is marketing. He's trying to get his name out there because he knows he's trash. So he does. He knows he's trash. Right. He had that one track. I think it's hot. Whatever. Right.
I still could. You could literally play that track right now, and I wouldn't know if it's like 3 different dudes rapping. I wouldn't know which one is him. And it's not even about being hating on the dude. Dude, I know him from running down the hallway and running in the parking lot. I'm like, oh, I know more of. I can point him out in a lineup. If you cover up just having 4 dudes run before you put on on a song for me to know that's him.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I totally believe a 6ix9ine cartoon with his little animated caricature would do better than his rap, because his little rainbow teeth, rainbow hair cartoon character is dope.
He'd probably be tight on like that Jaden Smith Netflix show.
Yes, that psychic.
Yeah. He'd be good on that.
Yeah,
Right.
that's just trash. Anyway, that's just trash.
I mean, but yeah, I mean that's like you going back to like it's marketing, man, right now. Like some of these dudes, they just know they're not gonna get.
No,
they're not going nowhere, dude.
That's why he's excited. He's like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do a diss track.
Yeah.
I'm gonna milk this for all it's worth. Yo, but Charlemagne got torn up.
From who? Wait,
Eminem.
For Eminem.
Oh wait, video it. I never seen it. I missed it.
No, it's in the song.
Which one?
Two of the songs. It's in the first song, and
You talking about when he mentioned Charlemagne? in the
Yeah.
track? Oh, well,
he went on a whole thing. What was that?
they gonna forever beef.
The one where they're talking about it. It's not even orange. Charlemagne. It's like, it's not even it. That's what his name, right?
Charlemagne.
No, the Fantastic Four character.
Thing.
Thing. He's like, thing's not even orange. And then Eminem went in a whole thing where he's talking about, if you're colorblind, I respect you. But, and then he just goes on color, the little bit of color rap. Man, that was
It's a thing, ain't even orange. Oh my God, that's a reach. Shout to all my colorblind people, each and every one of y'all. If you call a fire engine green, aquamarine, or you think water is pink, dog, that's a date. Looks like an olive to me. Look, there's an apple. No, it's not. It's a peach.
Yeah.
he hit him a couple times.
Well, Charlemagne does this incredible thing where he pisses everybody off, and then they put him in his raps, and then ironically they grow his listener base.
Yeah. And then he gets another #1 selling book. Again, marketing. Not hating.
Marketing.
Yo, did you read his book though?
All 3 of y'all.
Did you read his book?
I haven't read the newest one.
I'm talking about Black Privilege.
Yeah.
That book. You read that one? That's actually a really good book.
Yeah.
He makes great points in the book. He says really great things. It's a really good book. I was very surprised. He's extremely articulate in the book, and I respected him a lot more after I read it. You know, I was like, well, if that's who you're gonna be, and you identify with that's who you are, then I can't be mad at you.
Yeah.
I can't be mad at you for knowing who you are and deliberately being who you are in every facet of your life. You are who you are. Okay.
Oh, it's nasty time.
Another one that goes off in the club.
I bet you MGK can't rap to this.
I bet he could. He's not garbage.
I never said he's garbage. I just said he can't rap to this.
I don't think a lot of people could rap to this.
Eminem could rap to this.
He probably could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People underestimate the amount of poetic literacy Eminem actually has.
Oh yeah.
It's a scary level of technique.
Yeah.
For what?
Eminem, he's got a scary level of poetic literacy, understanding. Oh yeah, on this phrase, I'm rhyming the front of the phrase with the back of the phrase. I'm not just rhyming the last word of the phrase. Matter of fact, on this entire phrase, I'm rhyming the first syllable of every word that I'm spitting. Crazy stuff.
Yo, why was this one so dope? Fucking Joyner Lucas.
That's why Freeway.
Because every track Joyner Lucas is on for some reason is dope.
Freeway is a better battle rapper when he's riding a beat than when he doesn't have a beat, because he's so ingrained into his pattern that he needs to ride the beat to stay on point with what he's doing. Even if he's freestyling, he needs that rhythm.
Yeah.
You know
who else is a crazy freestyle rapper? Blind Fury. You remember Blind Fury? Bro, we should just...
What was the show? Remember there used to be the show? Was it on 106 in Park?
106 in Park.
Did they did that?
Yeah.
Jen, right? That's where Jen came from, right? Jen came from 106 in Park, right?
I don't remember Jen.
Jen, the Asian dude that signed the Rough Riders, right?
Was it 106 in Park he came from?
From the battle rapping thing, right?
Joyner Lucas' voice sounds like an instrument. When he's rapping, it sounds like an instrument. If I was mixing this, I would mix his voice as an instrument in the track and not as a vocal.
Yeah. It's fucking
Jen
killed
He
it.
signed the Rough Riders.
It's such Spanish.
Look, thank y'all for chopping it up this week with us in the kitchen. Look, hit that like button if you like this video. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit the bell next to it so you get the notifications when we drop the video. We out, y'all. You ever got stuck in the club and got on reverse on the up, down, up, down?
You know what I wish there was a way to do a track record of club following or I don't know, togetherness of doing the All I Do Is Win and swag surfing to see how many people together do it, correctly. Because remember, this is up and down, but then it's left and right. So it's like... Because I'm saying, it's easy to say window to the wall, because you walk in the club, you're like, oh, you
Say,
just
bro,
sound down, right?
If you play that in a club, you got to be ready for the whole crowd to unlock the special level.
That's all I'm saying. Which one, that's the favorite. Can we all get it right? Can we all get it right?
Up, left, right, down, down.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
No, it's not. That's not.
Oh,
He just
hate you.
You just made the damn game delete.
I know. I saw that.
You
Oh my
You
god.
get us now. Where are my characters? Wait a minute. You now have one life left.